my experiences from Andiamo, from Ortheo 3D, and from what I observe while we're having this conversation, because we want to gather the experiences which we gained over the years.
So what happens if someone approaches you, but you think he's not really suitable for 3D printed orthoses?
But sometimes I say no.
Hi, Gosia. I am sure most of the people in the LinkedIn know about Gosia. If someone who doesn't really know who is Gosia is, she's the medical team manager and biomedical engineer and Ortho 3D. So now, if you can share some of your experience you gained from Andiamos, that's your previous company you worked for, are no traditional manufacturing at all. So there are a few places we can really say only working with the 3D printed orthoses. So probably you're one of them. So first question is, what are the benefits of 3D printed orthoses for the patients? So
before I happily answer that, thank you very much for the invitation, Ruben. I think this is really great, your initiative, and that I think a lot of people in the industry in general who have the knowledge in the 3D printing, when they talk, always good, some comes out of it. And I think this way we can just speed up the process to deliver 3D printed orthoses, prosthesis, whatever it is, to the patient, so they're happy, because this is a challenging road, especially if someone has experience in traditional orthotics. Switching to 3D printing isn't just, one day you do that, the other day you do that. So I think this is really great. You raised the subject and we can talk a little bit about it. Okay, coming back to your question about the patients. So in general, there are a few features that patients loved about 3D printed orthoses. As you said, I worked for two companies during my career, which are known on the market. So I will try to say that in general, how patients react to 3D printed orthoses and what they like the most, why it is good to change. Maybe not for every patient, but for some patients, this is really, really good. And a game changer in their daily activities. So the first thing,
can you give us some examples of what kind of patients are really suitable for this kind of 3D printed orthoses?
Well, in Andiamo and in Ortheo 3D, I worked with children mostly. Different spectrum of patients, mostly CP patient, but SMA patient are really good as well. Spasticity, as you know, or most of you can imagine, can be tricky, but it really depends on the product. And unfortunately, it also depends on how you prescribe your orthosis. So if someone prescribes a wrong orthosis or chooses wrong parameters, wrong is not a very positive word. Could be better.
Yeah, not the right one. So maybe it's a wrong spec or something.
Then it doesn't matter what orthosis it is, even a carbon fiber orthosis, it will break. So the first thing you have to think about is obviously the prescription. But we had dynamic patients. We had at Ortheo 3D, we use up to 60 kilograms of weight of patients. This is how we tested it. So it's not like this is some magical border and you can't go behind it. But in general, this is how we used it. But very, very different patients. With big spasticity, if we use Ashworth scale 3 or 4, it can be tricky. Yes. And then toe walkers can be challenging as well. Or if you've got a lot of transverse plane movement problem in general, this can be very challenging for any orthosis. As I mentioned, carbon fiber orthosis break as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's nothing different to traditional orthotics. But what patients love the most to start with is the weight.
Lightweight, okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what company and what orthosis, like 3D printed orthosis, you think about. If you compare the material and compare the thickness, 3D printed orthoses are lighter in general. If you think about weak patients, if orthoses are lightweight, this is going to be beneficial to everything they do. So they're going to get tired slower. Okay. So they're going to make more steps and they're going to be more mobile. So it can be, obviously, it can seem that this is not very important, but for kids who it's so important. I had a patient who said that she really appreciates the 3D printed orthoses because they are lightweight, and I said, okay, everyone says that. Yeah, but she then said her daughter, when they diagnosed her with spinal muscular atrophy, she was the difference was when she wasn't wearing any clothes, like when she was a little baby, she could move her legs, and when they put some clothes on her, she couldn't. So this is how little difference can.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think if you wear them every day, this is something really, really important and life-changing for the patients.
So to sum up, you're saying the pediatric patients will get more benefit with the 3D printed orthosis. Am I saying that right? Or
yes, like when it comes to the weight, well, any patient, because if you've got a stroke patient, they will also have a benefit of a lighter orthosis, but this is challenging with the 3D printing for heavier patients. The second, I think, quite universal thing in 3D printing is perforation. So most of them are perforated, so breathable. And we are coming to a very hot weather, at least in Poland. I think this is something everyone...
Something you should really consider.
I don't want to... It's really difficult to talk about the whole 3D printed world. I think we started doing it. But as you said, and as you noticed, there are some features, and I'm sure there are some great ideas like among orthoses around the world. So there can be many, many more benefits from 3D printing, depending on which orthosis you use or what is coming to the market. So there can be an improved function, or someone can do something which is really beneficial and very comfortable. But this, again, depends on time or the experience on how to do something faster than it's required normally. Yeah. So there are many more. If you look at a certain orthosis, I try not to do it. I just think about 3D printing in general. If you're a beginner and you want to start with 3D printing, I think it's better to go easier and slower than to do something complicated, but then
later on you can try some complicated stuff, but starting with the very simple cases, right?
Yeah, for the next patient, you may not be able to have that much time to experiment, and this obviously is something which the time is crucial.
These are really valuable points. I think whoever listens to this, probably they will have some kind of brief idea how they can start and what they can look for. Hopefully we can continue this in our next session as well. So we will come up with the different questions, and then probably I can expect some more amazing answers from you.
Maybe we'll get some more comments and then think of some other things we forgot about. Thank you very much.